Am I the asshole? For taking back control of Thanksgiving meal planning and cooking from my husband? I cook Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners every year for my husband, his family, and our kid and have for 16 years. I put a lot of love, planning, and effort into making it a really special day. This year, between work, parenting, and everything else, I'm tired and I don't want to cook Thanksgiving. I went to him and asked if we could just go to a nice restaurant instead. To my surprise, he said he'd handle it. However, even cooking a simple Thanksgiving meal requires forethought, like getting the frozen turkey in the fridge to defrost multiple days in advance. Now is the time to pick up some items. I don't know if he knows what he signed up for. I started asking when he was planning on doing his grocery run and what dishes he was planning to serve. He just dodged the question and said he'd handle it. He has a habit of underestimating tasks and rushing last minute. I finally was like, look, why don't we work together and start planning? He admitted he was only going to cook a simple meal of turkey breast, mashed potatoes, and broccoli. That's it. Basically, I said that's not really a special holiday dinner and I wouldn't have agreed to that had I known that's what he meant. I said I'd be happy to work together and balance simple like he wants and special like I want. I suggested turkey, potatoes, packet gravy, box stuffing, pre-made mac and cheese, canned cranberry sauce, broccoli, rolls, and a store-made pie. He got really defensive and made it about him versus me, very black and white, your way or my way. His offer isn't good enough to me, I'm just trying to get my way. When I explained no, that's not what I mean, he insisted I did. I cannot imagine family showing up and being served a very simple meal like that. It's just bad holiday hosting. Maybe coordinating a potluck would be okay, but he wasn't doing that. We already committed to hosting them. Am I the asshole? TLDR husband offered to cook Thanksgiving dinner for the first time instead of me. Unbeknownst to me until now his offer was only to cook turkey, potatoes, and broccoli. Upon learning that, I insisted on working together to make a simple but more complete meal. He says I'm being controlling for insisting on serving more than that. Let him fail. Tell everyone the minute they arrive that hubby did everything. You're not even sure what's on the menu, but you're sure it will be fabulous, and all credit should go to him. Not the asshole. Oh no, his family is definitely expecting more and will also probably blame you when they have to adjust their expectations so drastically without warning. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If he offered to host a family holiday, he needs to step up and actually host. Let the family know in advance that he has taken charge completely this year and wants to do it his way totally, so you want to be the supportive wife and be hands-off so he has full control. Not the asshole. You didn't want to do it because it has so much work because it's a special day with special food. You suggested visiting a nice restaurant instead because it's a special day, etc. etc. It's nice that he offered to handle it this year, but he is not really handling it. Not the asshole. I understand standards when hosting. His were incredibly low. Wasn't he at the table all of these 16 years? Jesus. Based on your comments about him unapologetically serving the family a partially still frozen meal recently, I'm betting he never intended to make Thanksgiving dinner. He knew his incompetence and your pride would ensure you took it back over. He wanted kudos for being a good husband for offering to cook, knowing full well he wouldn't have to. Plus, now when you take it back over, he gets the added bonus of pretending to be the victim of his controlling spouse not letting him help, meaning not letting him serve a piss-poor meal. Info: if you aren't feeling up to cooking, why are you hosting? Why was the compromise he a person you knew wasn't going to be able to pull it off taking over instead of asking someone else to host? Or asking people to bring a bunch of dishes? I mean, that doesn't make you TA, and he sucks. But I just don't think this plan was ever going to work and you knew that but let it get to this point. Not the asshole. How is it that for 16 years your husband has seen the type of Thanksgiving dinner that you provided to him and the rest of the family and then for him in return to cook the lowest standard meal for a special occasion? This isn't as much about skill, as it is about effort and thoughtfulness. Not the asshole, but I wouldn't take back control. Give it up. It's his problem. Buy a load of backup oven-ready frozen pizzas and a shed-load of crisps, snacks and alcohol. Bailey's. This is what this day calls for. Stick your feet up, decide whether you want to let him burn or call his mom and tell her he's cooking and watch her rush in to do it all for him. Honestly, not the asshole. This is close to weaponized incompetence. He doesn't want to pay for a good restaurant, he doesn't want to invest the time to make a proper meal. Everyone knows that offering to cook Thanksgiving dinner is not the same as offering to make a quick lunch. And he'll be sure to imply that it's somehow your fault in front of his family. You're the asshole for stepping on your own foot. Let your husband keep his foot in his mouth. You can save your reputation by graciously saying, "That my dear husband decided to host Thanksgiving this year and he planned and cooked everything by himself. I offered to help but my dear husband said no, I got this." If he wants to do it, let him do it. It sounds like he knew you'd eventually take over. He purposely dropped the ball and planned it this way to get what he originally wanted. You fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Man, he really taught you a lesson here. Not the asshole. Well, you are only DA to yourself, to clarify. Let him do it. Go put your feet up, quit micromanaging him. He might surprise you. Sometimes Thanksgiving doesn't need to be a big all-out idealized production. Nah. It's not really just the turkey, is it? This seems to be a repeating pattern with him, one that your therapist has pointed out. I hope this gives you a lot to think about this holiday season. I hope you decide if you're really happy or not and what would make you happy. This post plus the post about your cats made me really sad for you. I agree with all the weaponized incompetence comments. I hope you see your worth and ask for more from him. You're the asshole to yourself. Let him handle it. Tell his family he handled it. What else does your therapist say? Going with controversial, you're the asshole. This has always been your thing, so you are coming across as controlling to your husband. He said he could handle it, so let him. Even he fails to grasp what it entails. He's a grown man, father and husband with access to Google and YouTube to find whatever items he needs to cook and tools to use. Send out a group text ASAP, right now, actually letting all the guests know that your husband is cooking this year and taking total responsibility for the meal. Then send a reminder text or email on Tuesday, just as a reminder to see ya. ESH. He was planning this all along. You fell perfectly into his web of weaponized incompetence. You are DA to yourself if you don't let him fail. You're the asshole. Just because it's not the way you would do it doesn't mean it's wrong. Just make a big deal about how proud and thankful you are that your husband wants to make the Thanksgiving dinner this year and that you hope his family eats as thankful and as appreciative of his efforts. I'm of the opinion you're the asshole, and I say that because he agreed to take the responsibility off your hands and you insisted on making it your problem anyways. Sure, what he's planned doesn't sound like the typical work yourself to death making it Thanksgiving his family is expecting, and that you've done for 16 years, but again, his problem. If you ask him to handle something, you have to accept it's not going to be identical to what you would have done, for better or worse. Not the asshole. Let him handle everything. Except the drinks. You're gonna need 'em. You're the asshole. He said he'll host, let him host. If it's a failure, oh well. Not your problem. Man, imagine family this judgmental on food instead of just being happy to see each other. I'm glad my family is the way it is. You know what? Let him cook his planned menu. Tell everyone as they walk in the door what an adorable spouse you have because you did all the planning and cooking for this meal. And frankly, that should be okay. So many people don't have enough to eat, and if they think turkey, potatoes and broccoli aren't enough, too bad. Not the asshole. He doesn't know what he's doing. Better to upset him now than have him upset when he realizes he didn't make enough. This is so dramatic. Who cares who is right and who is wrong? Just find a way to work together. Not the asshole, but personally, I'd let him crash and burn. I probably would get a good bought-in dessert, but that's it. I'd also wax lyrical before and during meal about how great my husband was taking the strain of Thanksgiving off. It is one meal. Guests will survive and it will give them shared conversation. This is not your problem to solve. Yes, you will likely get side-eye and comments because, as a woman and wife, you should have intervened. But he wanted to host all by himself and you supported your husband. Not the asshole. Book yourself a seat at a restaurant. Don't ask your husband if it's okay, just do it. He is either not putting in any effort because he doesn't care or because he wants you to take over. Neither of those options are what you want, so make Thanksgiving to be the way you want it to be. Not the asshole. Hope you stay out of it. Please update. Good luck. You're the asshole. You can give it to someone else to do and then tell them it's not good enough. It's not good enough for you maybe, but let your guests decide for themselves if the company is worth the simple meal and let your partner learn. You're the asshole. You didn't want to cook and he said he would handle it and you agreed. Stop micromanaging him and let him do it. You're the asshole. He said he'd take care of it. Let him. Not the asshole I say let him in it, let it rip. You should warn people in advance because they will get a shock. These guests who have been taking advantage of you for years, have become entitled to this from you. Now it's time for them to do their fair share for the next 16 years. You've been doing all the heavy lifting for years without any credit. From now on people should honor this labor, but chances are they will blame you for giving your usaband a job he can't handle because he is too lazy.